Hi, I'm Warren Haynes. I was born in Asheville, North Carolina in 1960, and I'm a musician. My idea of perfect happiness is the feeling that I get after a good performance or after I have written a song that I know is really good, that it's fleeting, it goes away quickly, but that's about as close as I can get. I guess my greatest fear is that I think more highly of myself than other people think of me. You know, that's a hard question for me to answer because I kind of gave up on the hero worship thing a long, long time ago because a lot of my heroes turned out to not be such great people. So I stopped idolizing people for talent or intellect or beliefs because those people also have a heart and a soul and they may fall short in some areas. So I don't put a lot of stock in hero worship. I guess the characteristic that I most dislike in myself would be selfishness. I don't like selfish people, and occasionally I find that I am one, and it really pisses me off. The characteristic I most dislike in others oftentimes can be selfishness as well, along with prejudice and dishonesty. I'm most excessive about music and about food. The music part is good for the most part. The food part can be bad. Natural beauty, to me, is such a wonderful thing, but it's overrated in the way that the people that possess it don't have to work for it. So I think in that way, natural beauty is the most overrated virtue. The truth is always best if it's not going to do some severe lifelong damage, but there are times when just to keep a relationship intact, I think you have to lie. If I could live anywhere, which I kind of can in some regards because my work doesn't keep me in a certain place, but my wife needs to be in New York, so we're in New York, and we both love New York. But I think, would also like to live in Big Sur, California, or in Maui. And I'm sure there's a lot of parts of Europe that I would love to live that I've never been to. I've always told myself that if I ever had the time to sit and relax somewhere with a house on the water, that I would teach myself to play saxophone, tenor saxophone. A lot of times when I'm playing guitar, I'm kind of emulating the tenor saxophone in my head, trying to make my guitar sound like a sax. I'm just a huge fan of the saxophone, but I never took it up as a child, so maybe one of these days. My favorite distraction is music. Any music that's playing in the hallway, outside, if there's music on the television, but there's always music in my head, and that's pretty distracting too. But I love that. You know, I would hate to not have that. I think the thing in my life that challenges me the most would probably be my wife. She's a pretty challenging person. We're enough alike to get along famously, but we're also so different that she constantly challenges me, and she's a very strong-willed person. The other thing that really challenges me in my life is striving for perfection. You know, I guess as a musician, there's no such thing as perfection. You just want to be better than you are. The top thing on my lifetime to-do list would be, I think, to make my greatest record. I've made a lot of records that I'm really proud of, but I don't think I've made my best one. I guess my present state of mind is content but somewhat restless. I'm happy, but I'm always feeling like I should be doing something. If I could change the world, I think the first thing that I would do is just make sure everybody had health care. I can't believe that in this modern world we can't give everyone health care. I have no idea. Probably some rodent or something. I don't know. I sure hope not. I guess the lowest depth of despair would be becoming suicidal. You know, I've never gotten that low. I have a lot of friends that have, and I don't want to imagine what that's like. life to me is too precious to ever think about cashing it in, you know. I would have to say that my most treasured possession would be my catalog of songs. I don't put a lot of stock in material possessions. I have a few that I love, but my songs are something that I'm probably most proud of. I'm afraid that my most obvious characteristic is being Southern. People seem to pick up on that pretty quickly. And although I don't think I have a Southern accent compared to what I consider a Southern accent, as soon as I leave the South, it's pretty obvious. My favorite word is motherfucker, because it has so many different uses and meanings. Growing up in the South in a neighborhood that was half black, half white, I learned all those meanings pretty quickly. You can use it threateningly, hey motherfucker, or you can go, man, that musician now, he's a motherfucker, which is praise. It can be something very challenging. Somebody's climbing a mountain, that mountain, boy, that was a motherfucker. It's just such a colorful word. I'm glad it's part of my vocabulary. My mom would probably hate this part of the interview. When I was a kid, I wanted to be James Brown. I wanted to be Otis Redding, all these great soul singers from that time period. So I would sit in my bedroom and sing soul music night after night after night. But then my oldest brother bought Sly and the Family Stone, and I heard that, and it kind of built this bridge to rock music. So then when I heard Cream and Jimi Hendrix, I told my dad, I got to have a guitar. And so at that point I picked up guitar, and singing and guitar playing were then equally important to me. My idea of success is being happy with your work, being content in who you are, but especially in your work environment. If you've achieved that, you've achieved a lot. My motto would be, do what you love. If you can do what you love and make a living at it, that's even better, but life's too short. You got to do what you love.
Very obvious. Talk to my dad. So.
Well, but you need to go to Mississippi. I sound like I'm speaking the Queen's English in Mississippi.